everyone, my name is Andrea, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my debt payoff journey. It's not just mine alone, it's both my husband's and mine. And I thought that by me documenting this in some way, it would help motivate me more than my husband. He's already motivated, but I kind of had to get him there. And I don't know how many of you are in the same situation as us, who are trying to pay off your debt but have no idea how to or when you will if you are in the midst of paying it off. But I'm hoping that sharing my journey thus far will help you, as well as, like I said, continue keeping me motivated. Let's talk about me. I had no debt, to be honest, until I actually went to college. And I had to borrow some money from my aunt, who was very kind and gracious enough to lend me $15,300 to go to school, to finish school, and I was able to graduate. But I had to still work to save up that amount to pay her back, right? And I was in between jobs, I was job hopping. It was a difficult situation. But I knew that I had to somehow pay her back. And I know, compared to many of you out there who have student loans that have crazy high interest rates, I did not have any of that to worry about. She lent me the money with no interest whatsoever. She didn't have to pay her back this much on top of the $15,000 that she had already loaned me. So I guess in some ways I am better off than many of you out there, my husband included. When I got to know him, I did not know about his student loan debts, and this was my only debt. And then of course we got married and we bought a house eventually, so we have a mortgage. We also bought a car. It wasn't new, it was used, but that was also a car loan. So in that sense, myself, just me alone, I had 3 loans now, not just my aunt's student loan debt, but a car loan and a mortgage. So 3 things. And then one day I was at work, I was talking to a colleague of mine who is a financial advisor, and I asked, and we were just talking, and I said, my husband has all of these student loans, and I don't know how much he has, but he has all this debt. And as far as I was concerned, no, it's none of my concern. I don't have to worry about it because, his loans are his loans and my loans are my loans. So basically, I have 2 loans, if you think about it, half of the house, half of the car, and a full loan from my aunt. So half and half is 1. So I had realistically speaking, 2 loans. So that was my thought process, and my husband has whatever he had, plus half of the car, half of the house. That was his. What's mine's mine, what's his is his. That has always been my thinking since I was a child. Actually, I lied. What's mine's mine, what's his was also mine. And that kind of started kicking in when it came to debt too, after I spoke with my friend, my colleague at work. And I was thinking, what's his is his. Those are his loans. Why am I responsible for helping him pay his loans, right? And then suddenly this realization kicked in, and I thought, once I pay off this student loan with my aunt, this $15,300, realistically speaking, I would have no more debt other than to put that money towards the car and the house, correct? So that would mean I would be in a much more financially stable position, unlike my husband, who was constantly paying the minimum payments on all of his loans. So I sat down and asked my husband how much student loan debt he has. He said, why? I said, because I don't want us to be poor. I don't want you to be poor when I will have a crap ton of money saved in my bank account. And as much as you would have, you would still be indebted to the government, to all these private companies, for all your loans. And he just stared at me. He was like, so what are you trying to say? I'm very happy paying all of this, paying the bare minimum that I need to. And besides, in 20 years, the government would forgive all of these loans and I'd be done. And so I said, okay, so you want to keep paying the minimum for 20 years? And I sat down and did the math with him. And that was an insane amount of money, just in interest alone. I mean, yes, it would be forgiven, but how much taxes are you going to pay too, right? So I said, I don't want us to be stuck in one spot. Like, I want us to grow together financially. And we're both very frugal people, just so you know. We don't spend money on eating outside. We take trips, we travel a lot, but that's really what we both indulge in. And he has his Nintendo toy collection, but that's his passion, and I have money. I love money, so I like to keep track of what's in my bank account. So that was the reason why I started getting into all of this and into the minute details of how much we each owed for everything and listed everything down. So I do have a long list of stuff here. It's a long list. I've crossed out a few things if you saw. I kind of didn't want to show you my numbers. Not yet, but so we sat down. Actually, no, I told him to sit down, pull up all the loans that he has, to break them down by all the companies that he has loans with, what the interest rates are, what the current balances were at that point in time, what his monthly payments are, and just his balance alone was in the 70,000 range, because he told me it's in the 50s. And when he gave me the exact numbers, I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of money that you have been paying and that you have to continue paying. So what can we do to get out of that situation? So realistically speaking, he only had 3 loans that made up $70,000. That's a lot, right? For 3 loans, that's crazy a lot. But when you break it up into all these individual disbursements, he had 15 of them. And the highest interest rate was with a private loan company. And the highest interest rate was at 9.25%. That was insane. That was more than the interest rate on my house. That was more than the interest rate on my car combined. So that was definitely mind-boggling to me. And the lowest one he had was 3.15%, which was a government loan. And when I added up all of our debt together, excluding the house, I had come to discover that we had an upwards of $100,000 in debt altogether. So to be exact, the amount that we started with was $110,000, $805.45. That was the number that we had as of April 2019 when we both sat down together and did the math. He didn't want to do anything at all. He said, "You're the numbers girl, just do what you need to, just tell me what I need to do." And I started crunching numbers, and that was the amount, $110,000. So almost $111,000 of debt in student loans, two car loans, because we took out another one based on the equity of another car that we have. But yeah, so a bunch of student loans, 2 car loans, and that's it. No credit card debt. We don't have credit card debt. Thank goodness. Like I said, we are very frugal with our money. So whatever we use on our card, they're paid off. So no credit card debt. That's always a good thing. So if you are ever using credit cards, make sure you're paying it off at the end of the month. Just a little tip from a very, very, very frugal person. But we had $111,000 in debt. And I wanted to nix that. And that's the whole reason I'm documenting this. I'm hoping that it will bring me even more motivation. It will bring you guys some motivation, hoping that our journey will help you and help you realize, okay, maybe I should start paying off my debt too. Yeah, so stay tuned for next week and I will tell you what we've done so far and where we're at roughly and how much more we have to go. Like I said, this is completely excluding the house, which I'll talk about later on too. But thank you for joining me and being a part of my debt payoff journey. I hope to be a part of yours. So don't forget to click like, subscribe to my channel, and comment tips, share your journey, anything. I'm all ears. Thank you. Bye.